Buddy Juno 2000 here, coming at you with a review of the fan favorite in this franchise of Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. And of course, it's in the box set where you see a piece of back of Freddy's back with the code from New Nightmare. It's in that badass box set. I don't know if the franchise would ever get a box set on a Blu-ray, but I heard some news is that they're gonna try to get the first three movies on 4K, which is cool. Kind of disappointed that they didn't get the rest of the movies, but all in all, I appreciate that it's getting a 4K, especially the first one. Like it's getting its anniversary this year. It's gonna be 40th anniversary this year because for the original OG Nightmare on Elm Street, and that movie still holds up. But my review is on the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. This is the fan favorite that everybody loves. And all in all, I do enjoy this movie, but I do feel a little disappointed with the film. I know some people may not find this disappointing, but I do think it's an overhyped sequel. Like everybody praise it, like this is the best one. It's like the best. Like there's sequels that everybody overhypes that they love as their favorite, and I'm cool with that. I'm That's to each their own. Like I'm not huge on Final Chapter, which is the fourth Jason movie. I'm not a huge fan of that one. That'll be a review for some other day. But for my quick synopsis about it, I do like I do like Ted White's Jason performance in that one, and Corey Feldman was cool. But it's just I don't know. I didn't care for the teens. I thought the Jarvis family were more entertaining. I wish there was more scenes with the Jarvis family, but that's my quick thoughts about it. It's just I just found it a bit boring. Some may disagree, but it's just my opinion. I didn't really like it that much. I preferred part three. I would even say I like part five even more than the fourth movie. But that's why it's just my opinion, my thoughts. Same thing with this one. It's a fan favorite, and I agree. The poster, which is badass, I have to admit, I have a T-shirt for the poster on the Walmart shirt, and it's a badass poster. I gotta admit, the poster is pretty good. Even though the poster is a little misleading with some of the characters, like some of them are supposed to be Kincaid, like that's supposed to be Kincaid, but it's a white guy, and that's supposed, I guess, to be Will, who's the Wizard Master, but it's a grown guy with a blue shirt and jeans and hold like Will doesn't even use that uses like a spike weapon. He's just a wizard. And of course that's supposed to be Taryn, which is accurate. And that's supposed to be Nancy because of the hair. Her hair is kind of like a bit whitish, so that's the hair look of Nancy. I don't know, it's just a misprint, but I heard like some things that it was a misprint where they didn't see the movie before making the poster, but it's still an iconic poster for fuck's sake. But back to the review. This was released in 1987. The franchise got returned by Wes Craven to come back and do the screenplay with Bruce Wagner, Chuck Russell, and Frank Darabont. Excuse me. Pardon me, folks. Fresh Craven teamed up with Bruce Wagner, Chuck Russell, and Frank Darabont to do the script. And also, who directed it? Chuck Russell, the director of the Mask and Eraser, and he also directed the Scorpion King with The Rock, which is a badass flick. And you know that director knows how to direct some action shit, and he did direct it. And I also liked his Mask movie, and that's a New Line movie, so that's a funny, awesome movie by Jim Carrey. But he directed a pretty decent, solid horror movie, which is Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors, starring Patricia Arquette from from True Romance, and she's also the siblings of David. Alexis Arquette and Patricia's also sisters also wrote um shit, I forgot her sister's name, the other one. She was in Pulp Fiction and After Hours. Fuck, I forgot her name, but I know the actress, but she was in After Hours. She was like briefly like Griffin Dunn's girlfriend, and she was Lance's girlfriend. But all in all, yeah, of course, her brother David would work on with Wes Craven in Scream. But she plays this character named Kirsten Parker, who is like having dreams about Freddy Krueger and all that stuff, and one leads to another. Starts having like freakouts. Her mother thinks she's a suicidal person, so she takes her to a mental clinic. And of course, we get to meet the character Nancy Thompson, played again, reprised by Heather Langenkamp, coming back to this movie. I don't know what the connection it does have to the first one. I know it does have with the first one, but it doesn't make no reference to the second movie, which is weird. But I like the second one. But on and on, she's meeting up with some of the doctors that she meets, even the orderlies, and one of them is played by Lawrence Fishburne, who is Morpheus in The Matrix. And all in all, I thought it was cool to see Lawrence Fishburne. There's the part where, like, because the movie I'm disappointed with it is because of him in the movie, which I'll get to. But the movie goes on where you get to meet these characters. You get Will, who's the wheelchair kid. You get Kincaid, who's overly tempered and high energy. You get Philip, who is a puppet master that makes a lot of puppetry materials, puppets. You get Joey, who is a mute and shy to everyone. You get Taryn, who's a junkie user, but trying to get rehab and settle down off drugs. But all in all, they start getting killed one at a time. Especially the Philip character. That part is pretty damn gnarly to watch. Where you see Freddy pull his veins out of his wrist, like it's coming out of his arm into his wrist, and it's he's using the veins as a puppetry puppet that Freddy's holding all these veins so they're floating out of his arms in Philip's arms, and they think Philip killed himself after he fell off a ledge, and they're wondering what's going on. One of the characters gets killed by getting their face smashed into a TV, and of course Freddy Krueger has the iconic line, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," and then boom, tosses her head into the TV, and then you get like, I'll just give credit. I like Kincaid. I would say he's my favorite character in the movie. I do like his line when he just yells at the asshole bitch doctor lady that doesn't really give a shit about none of them, and I want to help. I like when he just gets mad. "Oh, she's gonna kill our ass. The fuck you will. You ain't gonna put us to sleep. You just spent a night in the room, so Mister, now sit down." "No, fuck you. You sit down. I'm not gonna put nobody to sleep." "Fuck you. You sit down." Yeah, that guy that plays Kincaid. Damn, I can't find his name. They don't credit him on here, but he is great in this. I like the Kincaid character. He's the best one in the movie. But of course, after they start like getting into the nightmares, Heather Langenkamp tries to get help from her dad, played again by John Saxon, reprising his role as Nancy's dad. John Saxon was in Black Christmas and Enter the Dragon. And then she goes back and forth where she meets up with the kids at the hospital. The bitch nurse lady doesn't give a shit about helping them. So she locks up Kristen in a quiet room. Nancy goes and meets up with Kincaid, Taryn, and Will to see if they can save Kristen and also Joey, because Joey was mind fucked by this bimbo nurse lady who was like trying to turn him on and show her taught us and fuck him, but it was Freddy in disguise. Which originally they were supposed to show like the actress with her nude body wearing a Freddy mask makeup, but they thought it was just weird, so they just cut it out. But there's still shots that exist about that scene that's cut out. But all in all, Joey's trapped in Freddy's hell, so they have to save him. After they go into their dream warrior's dream, they start going into their formation of their dream master, where Will's a wizard master, Kincaid's a strong street fighting motherfucker that kicks ass and takes no names like a motherfucker. Taryn's a badass beauty with knives. Kristen knows how to do gymnastics and flying around. And of course, they get into their dreams. Kristen sees her dream first, where she recreates where she is woken up by her mom, and then Freddy cuts her head off. Where's that fucking bourbon, you bitch? And he cuts her head off, freaking out Kristen, and Kristen gets out of the room, flipping through the window, trying to find everybody. Then Taryn gets encountered by Freddy, and she has a knife fight with him with her knife in his fingernail glove, but his gloves turns into needles. Let's get high, and all this blue drug shit, and he injects it into her arms, and it's pretty creepy. And of course, he does the line, "What a rush." Which, of course, Road Warriors would use that, and of course, Dee Snider Strangeland would use that. And it was ironic. It's told by Robert Englund, and Robert Englund would be in Dee Snider Strangeland. But of course, Will gets his showdown with Freddy using Wizard Master, like all Harry Potter cool shit. But Will gets stabbed in the chest, which is his kill is pretty lame. It's just he gets stabbed in the chest by Freddy's glove, not graphically. It's just like that's it, and like nothing gruesome or anything. It sucks he gets killed too, but Kristen, Nancy, Kincaid are reunited, and one leads to another. They want to find Freddy in his hell, capturing and torturing Joey, but they do shave Joey after they kick Freddy's ass. And of course, John Saxon and damn it, I forgot the guy's name. The one who played the Dr. Neil character, who was also good friends with Heather Langenkamp's Nancy character. Like he starts talking to her, and then he also knows this mysterious ghost nun lady that he keeps talking about, and she reveals who Freddy Krueger is, the bastard of 100 maniacs. And she's telling him about the Mandra Kruger of his mother, where she was raped by 1,000 maniacs, and that's when she conceived Freddy Krueger. But one leads to another. Him and John Saxon are going to the junkyard where they see Freddy Krueger's remains as a skeleton. They're about to bury it, but they have a sword fight, and John Saxon gets killed. Neil gets knocked out, but after he wakes up, he buries Freddy Krueger, holy waters him, and of course, in the dream world, they encounter Freddy a couple times with fights, but Joey has his power where he saves them by screaming, and Nancy sees her dad, but she gets stabbed in the stomach, and it's not her dad, it's Freddy Krueger in disguise, and boom, one leads another. Neil, using the holy water, destroys Freddy, powering an explosion in the sunlight. Kristen is just sad that Nancy's dead, and it's very devastating ending to that character's dying. And they go to her funeral to mourn her, and Neo sees the nun lady and she goes by the cemetery to a tombstone, and it reveals that she was Amanda Kruger this whole time, Freddy's mama. And then, of course, Neo has that little house that Kristen made. The light turns on, of course, because Freddy comes back in part 4. He's back. And, of course, you get a badass Duncan song singing Dream Warriors. And, yeah, this movie's not that bad. I'll just say the disappointing part, where I'll get to now, is when it's disappointing that the bitch nurse lady, that she doesn't give a shit about anybody. I wish Freddy could have gotten her ass in one scene where she's asleep in her room and she goes in the dream and Freddy kills her ass. I wanted her to get her comeuppance for treating everybody like shit and not believing everybody's like. I want her to get her desserts. And the second thing I was disappointed with Lawrence Fishburne, I wish he was a Dream Warriors in this movie. I wish he was more in this fucking movie. I wish he had the sad ending where he gets killed instead of Nancy, because Nancy didn't need to deserve to die. I feel like you should have made him such a badass character where he deals with Taryn being sexually assaulted by one of the shitty orderlies, and he sees that and he beats the shit out of that motherfucker and saves Taryn from that assault. I wanted something like that where the character just has a good arc where he's bad. I don't think he secretly is developing this badass arc where he does care for the kids, like if it's his, like he cares for them like he's like it's his own kids. And of course at the end, like instead of like him trying to kiss ass to the doctor, he's like he goes into the room, says to Nancy, "I'm not gonna rat you guys out, but all my kids have been getting killed and murdered. I want to see who is killing my kids." And he joins them. And his Dream Warriors is that he's a guardian angel to everybody. He has wings, and he's a street fighter like Kincaid. And of course, at the end, he has a badass fight with Freddy, punching him, but Freddy stabs him in the stomach, and he's wounded, and he's trying to kill Nancy and Kristen, but he grabs the glove and says, "Eat this, you motherfucker." Boom, he stabs him in the chest, and boom, you get that ending. And they mourn Mac, because of course Lawrence Fisher's character name is Max, and they mourn his death. They have his funeral, and I feel like those two things should have worked. Like they should have gotten the bitch nurse to get her comeuppance, and having Lawrence Fishburne's Max character have a good arc where he saves Taryn, and then joins up being a Dream Warriors, and then he has the sacrificial death scene at the end by destroying Freddy Krueger. I wanted those two things in the movie. That's the thing I would say is a bit disappointing with the movie, that I have issues with the movie. But all in all, it's not a bad movie. I still would say I'd rather watch this over the piece of shit part 5. But all in all, not a bad movie. A bit disappointing. I would say it's a bit like mixed, where I do enjoy it, but it's a bit of a disappointing film. And it's a little overhyped, but I do respect that everybody loves this one as a fan favorite. But yeah, that's my review, folks, for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. See you in the next one, folks. Bye-bye.